My name is Erin Davis. I am an art and graphic design teacher at James M. Bennett High School, and I would first like to say that I have spoken to all of the art teachers and I know how much everyone misses you guys. So we are doing the best we can with what we have, and that's what we're going to ask you guys to do. Do the very best you can with whatever you have. And we had to get creative with coming up with these assignments, and that's because we know not everyone has the same materials at home and not everyone owns art materials. So the assignment you're going to be doing today also uses creativity, and that is called your creative coffee stains. So I'm going to do a quick demo today to show you how to get that started. But the very first thing you're going to need to do is gather your materials and go to a space where you can make a little bit of a mess if something drips off of the paper. I'm using the kitchen. You can use your kitchen table, you can go outside, you could use a bathroom countertop, anything that works for you that you could just wipe up the coffee or wipe up any liquid that might spill. The materials you're going to need are coffee, or if your family or you prefer tea, go ahead and make yourself some tea. Don't put a whole lot of water in it though, because you want the color to be nice and saturated. If you don't have either of those and you're a soda drinker, use soda. You could also use food coloring, anything that's going to make the liquid show up on white paper when it's dry. Does not matter what color. Again, do the best you can with what you have. So make that work. You might also need a straw. That works best, I've found. If you don't have a straw, that's okay, use a spoon. And then later on, after we've allowed our paper and our coffee stains to dry, you're going to need some sort of black ink pen. It can be an ink pen, a gel pen, a ballpoint pen, a stick pen, a really thin black marker, anything that you can find that will allow us to add some texture and detail and turn these coffee stains into something really creative. And last but not least, you're going to need either your lesson plan, whether you picked up a packet or printed this out. If you don't want to do it on this paper, that is absolutely fine. You can go ahead and grab any white computer or copy paper. I would suggest grabbing a couple sheets just in case you don't like your first document or your first little splatter attempt. Or if you have something a little bit thicker. This is cardstock. This would work a little bit better because the thinner paper tends to wrinkle. Again, that doesn't matter. All we're worried about for this project is you taking a coffee stain and turning it into a really creative and interesting pen and ink drawing. If you are super artsy or you have a family member that has some nice drawing paper or watercolor paper, you may use that as well. It doesn't have to be too large. As you can see on the lesson plan, that's about the size drawing we're asking you to create. You also have a written reflection, which you could do at the bottom of this and then upload the picture of this to Google Classroom or email it to your teacher. Or if you prefer to type your written reflection into the Google Classroom document, you can do that and then send the picture of your coffee stains in a separate document on Google Docs or Google Classroom. After you've gathered your materials and prepared your space, the next step is to use the straw or the spoon to slowly drip or pour a small amount of your liquid, whether that's coffee, tea, soda, or anything else, onto the paper. And you're not trying to make anything at this point. You're going to use your creativity later. This is where the extra sheet of paper might come into play because sometimes you might get a big splatter, a big mark, you might not like it, it might take up too much space. If you don't have an extra sheet of paper, that's okay as well. I like to use a straw the best, and the way I do that is I dip the straw in my liquid, I put my finger over the edge of the straw, and then I'm able to open my finger and allow some of the liquid to come out of the straw slowly. And so I'm just going to drip this all over my paper. I love coffee, so I hate wasting this, but it's for a good cause. Ooh. And if you make an accident, we're just going to do like Bob Ross says, make it into a happy accident. And sometimes, if you'd like, you can take the straw and you can blow into it or through it. And you can blow some of the liquid from your coffee stains around. If you don't have a straw, the other thing you can do is take a little bit of the coffee onto the spoon and do the same thing. But again, remember to drip slowly so that you don't end up with a huge wet spot. At this point, we're just going to let it sit and dry before we move on to the next step. This project in total should take us about 20 minutes. All right, guys, now it's time to get creative. Let's take our coffee stains and look at them from all angles. Do the coffee stains make a shape or form that looks like something? Could you create an object out of your coffee stains? Now, right now, I can see in this coffee stain the profile of a person. I see a forehead, a nose, lips, a chin. Maybe I could do something really cool with the hair. And down here, this to me looks like maybe a genie lamp and a genie coming out of it, or smoke coming out of that genie lamp. And I'm sure if I looked at it longer, I could see some other things. Now in this one right here, I see a snail. So I'm going to do a really quick demo just on that little area. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you some of the requirements of this project. Now for this next part, before I get started, you will need some sort of pen, gel pen, thin Sharpie, stick pen. I've got a nice black ink pen here. Again, do what you can with what you have. If you don't have much experience drawing with pen and ink, check the bottom of your lesson plan. There's a link to a video with some pen and ink techniques that might be useful for you. Other artwork requirements include using most or all of the coffee stains in your composition, making sure your drawing is detailed, and adding areas of texture and value if possible. Your artwork should be neat and professional. Time and effort should be evident, and you should spend approximately 20 minutes of time on your drawing. Of course, you are more than welcome to spend more time on your drawing if you'd like. Your completed project should reflect the skill level of the individual student and for the class in which you are currently enrolled. So for instance, if you're taking Art 1 and you haven't even gone over pen and ink techniques, your drawing might look a little bit different than a student that's in Art 4 that has had quite a bit of experience using pen and ink. In addition, a written reflection should accompany your artwork. You can include that at the bottom of your lesson plan if you are photographing that or uploading it to Google Docs, or you can type it into the Google Doc right in your Google Classroom. The most important part of this project is that you use your creativity. Come up with some unique, interesting, and innovative ideas. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and good luck.